Good afternoon, Tower. It's Thursday, May 12th, and I'm your 6th hour anchor, Brooklyn.
And I'm Drake, broadcasting live from our Warren Woods Tower news studios.
That's right, Drake. We're here to give you all the updates you need on prom, cabaret, and more.
But first, let's talk about AP classes. Today we have world history testing. Earlier this week we had calculus AB and computer science on Monday, biology on Wednesday. Congrats to everybody who has finished testing, and good luck to those who have more.
Tower had their annual Powder Puff event last Wednesday. Everyone had a great time with senior girls playing against the junior girls, with the boys acting as the cheerleaders. Congratulations to the seniors for winning 0 to 14.
Prom is tomorrow, with doors opening at 6 and dinner being served at 6:45. This year's theme is A Night Under the Stars, and all Warren Woods Tower juniors and seniors are invited to attend. Underclassmen can also attend, but only as a date of an upperclassman. Students have their opportunity to vote for their senior prom court, and the votes are in. The King's Court is Anthony Akins, Drake Brannicky, Kennick McKissick, and Stephen Young. The Queen's Court consists of Elizabeth Capps, Chloe Delisle, Nicolette Lavely, Selena Rivley, and Angel Shaquana. Make sure to vote at prom for your 2022 prom king and queen at the dance tomorrow. Yesterday was also the last day to turn in the express passes for prom. If you plan to leave early tomorrow, you must be in school for 3 consecutive hours for the entire period. You must also turn in a note from your parents stating that you are allowed to leave after your 3rd hour. Students who did not turn in a note prior to May 11th will not exit through the express line.
Today, you should go to the attendance office during your lunch hour or after school to pick up your express prom pass. These passes will not be issued during class time. You will only be issued 1 pass, and replacements will not be issued if you lose it. This pass will serve as your exit from school. You must have your express pass and your student ID in hand. Students who leave the building without properly signing out will receive a skip and will be unable to attend prom. Hope to see you tomorrow. Every broadcast, we try to feature what may be a hidden gem of our school, and today we will be highlighting our book club, reported by Douglas Wells. Doug?
Not only does Tower host sports, we also host a plethora of options when looking for clubs. If you're looking for a club to join, the book club might just be for you. Here we talk to Ms. Smith, who has more information about the club.
I created the book club because I've been a member of book clubs before, and they're a great way to connect with someone about books. Books are so much more than just stories on paper. They're a way to share experiences and emotion, and it's fun to talk with someone about when you're surprised about something or, you know, your reaction to what you've read, and it's just fun to hang out and talk about books. Well, we meet right after school once a month. And ideally, everyone has read the book, although that's not always the case. And that's true with adult book clubs. Sometimes you just don't get finished in time. But really, it's just a bunch of people hanging out, eating snacks, and talking about a book. So many students look at books as a chore, and not enough really just sit and read for fun. And so I've chosen books that are high interest, mostly teen related. So it's just kind of fun to expose students to books that aren't the classics. Come hang out. Half the kids who were at our first meeting they were dragged by their friends. They hadn't even read the book, but still hung out, listened to us talk about the book, and then wanted the next book. So, you know, just look for signs that I have up and see, and if you want to come, hang out, have some snacks, and just have some fun.
Well, there we have it, folks. To any students interested in joining a club, hopefully this helps encourage you to join the book club or any other clubs. And from Tower News, this is Douglas Wells signing out.
Book club looks really fun. I hope y'all consider it, or consider any club for that matter. Now let's head to a commercial break, and afterwards we'll look at our weekend weather report.
Do you ever wish that there was a class where you could learn to film, edit, and produce videos all in the same classroom? Well, now you can. Introducing Digital Media Production. Located in room 408, you will get to learn all sorts of things like working together as a team to create videos using the latest high-tech equipment, just like what you would see in the real deal. But most importantly though, you will get to plan, manage, and create the Warren Woods Tower Student News, which is entirely student-made, with jobs ranging from cameraman to anchor to even working in the back to make sure that nothing goes wrong when we go live. If any of this seems interesting to you, make sure you sign up next year for digital media production with Mr. Martin in room 408. Hello, everyone. I'm your weatherman, Brandon Kiefel, here to tell you about this week's weather. For tomorrow, temperatures will be up at 85 degrees and sunny. Saturday will be at 83 degrees and sunny, and Sunday will be at 84 degrees with a 40% chance of rain. That was the weather for the rest of the week. I'm Brandon Kiefler, signing out.
Our next segment is called In the Halls, where we go out and ask you, the students of Tower, random questions. If you see us in the halls, make sure you stop by and say hi. Last time we asked you about the music you were listening to. This week we asked students trivia questions, and if they got it right, they got a piece of candy. With this story is William Moore. William?
So we're gonna ask Chris 3 questions. If you get one of the questions right, he gets a piece of candy. So what is the largest state by area?
Largest state by area is Texas.
Wrong, it's Alaska. It's Alaska. It's Alaska. No, you got 2 more tries though. You still got 2 more tries. What is the only U.S. state that only borders one state?
U.S. state that only borders one state. Maine.
That's correct. Okay. That's correct. That's correct. What you want, Skittles or Starburst?
Can I have the red Skittles, please, sir?
Yep. There you go, sir. So we're going to ask you 3 questions. If you get one of the questions right, you get a free piece of candy, okay?
Okay.
All right, so the first question is, what is the hottest planet?
Venus.
That's correct. Venus is right. That's correct. Would you want a Starburst or a Skittles?
Skittles.
Skittles, here we go. Nice job. Who was the first U.S. president to live in the White House?
Alexander Hamilton.
Wrong. John Adams. John Adams. Well, all right, next person. Come on, you were so close. What is the largest state by area?
That'd be Alaska.
That's actually right. Yeah, that's Alaska. That's actually right. Here you go.
I get the whole thing?
What the? Yeah, you get the whole thing. No, you get the whole thing. It's for you.
No.
This is William Moore, but Tower News signing out.
Next, we have sports with Alfie. Allah?
Hello, Tower. I'm Ala Helfi with your sports news. Last Thursday was a busy day for Tower. The boys varsity baseball team had a home game doubleheader against Marine City High School at 4:30 with a score of 4-6 for their first game and a score of 6-7 for their second. While the boys JV baseball team had an away game doubleheader at Marine City High School at 4:30 with a score of 0-5 and 0-11. Last but not least, we have the girls varsity soccer team who had an away game at Marysville High School with a score of 0-1. And now, here's how Tower's varsity teams are doing overall. First, we have the boys baseball team, whose record is 6-7. The girls soccer team, who is ranked as 7-3. The girls softball is 4-11. The girls tennis is 2-6. And lastly, the track team, who are 4-0. For your sports news, this is Ala Hofi for Tower News signing out.
We try to highlight the very best of Tower every week, and for our final story this week, we looked at one of Tower's very own teachers, Mrs. Cheshire. With that story is Drake Branicki. Drake?
Now, everybody's senior year experience is different, but a lot of seniors that I've talked to seem to have a couple common characteristics.
You're in forensics, right?
Yes.
Do you like Miss Cheshire?
I love Miss Cheshire.
Definitely very helpful and informative.
He just is just fun and nice and makes me laugh when I go in there. He's probably one of the best teachers we have at the school.
Miss Cheshire's forensics class is mutually enjoyed by like a lot of people in there. Not just the seniors, though.
100%. It's such a good class, especially if you're interested in criminology.
Although the senior to junior ratio is like 99 to 1. What makes Miss Cheshire's forensics class so enjoyable? Well, I'll tell you. I've been in her class for 2 semesters now. I consider myself a little forensic Cheshireologist by now.
So I teach forensic science. It's a science elective for 11th and 12th grade students. And essentially forensics is the study of crime. So we take a look at how to run a whole investigation, how to analyze evidence, and how to figure out who did it and what happened.
When you think forensics, you think of analyzing how people died. And there's a lot of ways to die. So the class manages to stay fresh and interesting with every unit and lab activity.
Basically, we go in every day and we get a packet for the month where we do different units for crime investigations.
We are just wrapping up our chapter on blood analysis, so taking a look at when you have a stain, how do you figure out that A, it's actually blood, how do you figure out that it's human blood, and then how do you figure out who it came from?
Yesterday we learned all about blood and blood typing. It's really interesting.
You've got labs about bones, blood splatters, bombs, fingerprints, drugs. It's a good class, all right? What's your favorite unit so far?
I'd say the fingerprints because it made me wonder about my hands and how everyone's unique in their own way. And I thought it was really interesting.
Honestly, I just like the RFCs or the vocab where I get to just do by myself and work on my own. Videos are my favorite.
I might even go into that, being a coroner, and forensics has helped a lot with that.
Throughout the year, I think the favorite lab is probably first semester when we do the fetal pig autopsy. It is probably the one lab that scares students the most. Going into it, everyone either loves it or hates it.
I loved that. Okay, there was she gave us each a little fetus pig, and then we just cut it open and we saw each part of it and then had to label it, and then you get to cut the brain, cut the heart, see the eyes. It was so interesting. I loved it.
They're either here because they heard about it and they're excited, or they're like, oh my God, why did I sign up for this class? But what I find is that is the one thing we do all year that literally everybody gets involved in, and by the end of that week, pretty much everybody is I learned so much from that. It's really a fun week to see.
And I admit, I may not be the best of students every day in the class. Literally none of us are. But I feel like I'm still digesting the work, you know?
But I think forensic science is kind of cool because it's an applied science. So all of the biology, chemistry, physics concepts that you guys have been learning for years, this is an example of how you actually use that stuff in real life. And let's be honest, we all watch crime shows all the time. So this is sort of how it actually is done, regardless of what you see on TV.
But besides this, something really important, the most important part of the story, the main focus, in fact, Miss Cheshire is the heart of the class at the end of the day.
Building a relationship with students, no matter what you're teaching, I think is one of the most important parts. We spend so much time together every day. You need to have that good working relationship.
She's a really good teacher, but she's also really good to talk to. She is always super friendly, always just wants to talk to her students. I feel like I can have a normal human being conversation with her, and it's not weird.
And for me, that's the fun part of teaching. I like getting to know you guys, not just getting to know what's going on in the classroom, but just getting to know who you guys are and what's going on in your lives. So that's why there's a chair that always sits in front of my desk. And if you've been in this class, you've noticed that for the most part, almost every hour, there is somebody sitting there. We might be talking about class, we might be talking about grades, or we might just be talking about your life, and that's okay. There's always a seat for someone who needs to talk.
I always found every case interesting because she really does a good job picking out the videos and the new cases we're going to work on. So every time I found something interesting, I would just go after class, or even during class, we finished early and I would go talk to her about it, and she always had really interesting inputs and her own opinion on everything. So yeah, that's mostly what we talked about. But also she's so easy to talk about anything other than school. You just go to her and talk about anything, and she's going to listen and give you good advice.
I noticed that you talk to her every day, basically.
Yeah, I'm definitely really close with her. She's a very cool person.
She's very real with her students, and she understands the whole senior mentality, if you know what I'm talking about.
Senioritis is real. We were all seniors in high school at one point too. I try to do my best with it. I try to keep things a little bit fun, a little bit interesting.
Forensics is a perfect balance between work and fun. There's classes where we get very little work, and they're boring. There's classes where we get a ton of work, and it's boring. And then there's classes where we just screw around all hour, and we learn nothing. In forensics, you have this really chill atmosphere. You can just talk and go on your phone, but you're still going to get the work done if you put in the work. Believe me, I know. I wrote the script in forensics. There's legit students who just like walk up to Miss Cheshire and talk to her, like ask her for advice about college and plans, and she always has the input to give. If you don't like Miss Cheshire's class, you must have been dropped as a child. Actually, no, that's no excuse. Miss Cheshire herself was dropped as a kid, and she leads the whole show.
Do you got anything that you want to say about Miss Cheshire, or do you want her to hear, or anything?
That's my gang, for sure. She's gang.
And that wraps up this afternoon's live broadcast. In the Tower News Studio, I'm Drake.
And I'm Brooklyn, signing off. Have a great weekend, everyone.